Hi, everyone, and welcome to Holy Rosary's presentation of Take Care of Your Taxes. I'm so happy you decided to join us today. Let's talk about what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about getting going, W-2s and W-4s, earned income tax credits, getting help, making a plan, being careful, Holy Rosary, credit union, and you. So the first thing we're going to talk about is getting going. And, we all procrastinate. I know I'm a champ at it. If you want to watch a funny video on procrastination, you can click on the one on the screen right now. But when dealing with the IRS, sooner is better, so get started as soon as possible. February 1st would be a great date to start. It gives you plenty of time, so you don't have to rush. Late returns and errors will be the last thing that they work on, so don't put it off. February 1st is not too soon to start. Rushing equals mistakes, and mistakes are set aside for review. Late returns might delay your refund, and nobody wants that. So you have to know yourself when you're filing for your taxes. People love to get those tax refunds, and I do too. But what you have to realize is the government is returning your money back to you. That's right. The federal government collected too much money from you all year long. And when it sends you a refund, it's just giving you back the difference. It's not giving you extra money. If you consider automating your savings and putting away the extra money that you would have gotten for a refund and you don't touch it, you can start building a nice nest egg. And many Americans receive large refunds. It's not the smartest financial decision. When you get a big check, it seems like a bonus, but it's really you just getting your money back. So I'd love for you to consider automating your savings. If you want to know more about why a big tax refund isn't always the best thing, click on that video there. And you do have to know yourself. Basically, when you get a refund, the government has made a savings account with you, but the savings account doesn't come with any interest. Now, the upside of getting a refund is you don't know the IRS anything. And if you want to know more about tax withholding, you can click on this video right here on the screen. It's just important to know yourself. You have to ask yourself the question, if I got more money in my paycheck, what would I do with it? If you feel like, oh, that money would have just disappeared, it might be better if you left it alone and got that refund. If you feel like if I automate my savings, I know I won't touch it, maybe it's better to change your W-4 so you get more money in your paycheck, you automate your savings, and you put some of that money away. What do you need to file your taxes? Well, you're going to need your Social Security numbers for you, your spouse, any children claimed on the tax return, names exactly as it appears on the card, your date of birth, your home address, copy of last year's state and federal returns, your bank account number and your routing number to get your refund by direct deposit. And if you're getting somebody to help you, and I hope you are, you might need your W-2. And as long as I talked about W's, let's talk about W's. What is a W-2? Well, the IRS requires employers to report wage and salary information for employers using Form W-2. The W-2 reports important details like the amount of federal, state, and other taxes withheld from your paycheck, other employer fringe benefits like health insurance, adoption, and dependent care assistance, health account savings contributions, and more. The information on your W-2 is extremely important when preparing your tax return, and your employer is required to get this form to you by January 31st. And if you want more information about the details of what's in each one of those boxes that they fill out, please click on the video on your screen. But just remember, you get one, the IRS gets one. They use it to track all the income that you've gotten from your employer. And most importantly, you must get it by January 31st. Did you know you could change your W-4? Yeah, you can. This is the form you fill out. And I have to tell you, when I first started my job at Holy Rosary Credit Union, I really had to stop and think, if I want the most money withheld from my taxes, what do I put down? In my case, because I'm a two-family income, I'm always worried that I'm going to get stuck repaying taxes. So I wanted the most money withheld. I wanted them to take as many taxes out as I could. But, you don't do this stuff every day. So it's hard to remember what you should do. You can change the form, and you should change the form if you or your spouse gets a second job, if your spouse gets a second job or changes jobs, if you're unemployed for any part of the year, if you get married or divorced, if you have or adopt a child. If you are still confused, I don't know how to do this. Again, I'm a nag and I'm going to keep saying it. Please get help. But the other thing you can do is TurboTax and the IRS have free W-4 calculators, and you can see the links right on your screen. You can also download the W-4 form if you want. The link is right on your screen as well, and you can give it to the correct department in your company. Well, what does it mean if you put 0 on your W-4? It means the maximum amount of taxes are taken. So remember, 0 takes the most taxes out. If you want more money in your paycheck and less taken out, you'd claim a different number. And if you're claiming as a dependent, you should probably put 0. What does it mean when you put 1 on your W-4? Well, you might do this if you're single and you just have one job. You'll most likely get a refund. How about 2 on your W-4? When you put 2 on your W-4, you're saying you want more money in your paycheck and less allotted towards taxes. Now, if you're single, you have to be aware you might owe money at tax time. If you're single and you work 2 jobs, you can claim 2 at one job and 0 on the other, or 1 at each job. If you're married, you should certainly coordinate with your spouse. Well, let's talk about earned income tax credit. And right now you might be saying, gee, Stephanie, this is so much information. That's why I want you to get help. Okay, so earned income tax credit and other deductions. Let's talk about that. I do want to point out that the fine folks at the IRS have created a video on earned income tax credit that you can click on the screen right now. But let's talk about it. It lowers the amount of tax you can pay. You can qualify if you work and earn income, and income is counted as things like wages, salaries, tips, employer-based disability, military pay, and union strike benefits. Right now on the screen, you'll see the 2022 grid for earned income tax credit. This is for taxes due in April of 2023. So you can take a look at that and see, if you qualify. And what about the kids? Well, you can claim the kids if they're your son, your daughter, your grandchild, your stepchild, adopted child, younger sibling, or foster child. They must live with you half a year, and they must be under 19 at December 31st of the tax year, or if they're a full-time student, they must be under 24. Now, if they're permanently disabled, they can be any age. What about retirees? I assumed retirees would not be eligible for this, but that's what happens when you assume things. They are eligible if they work part-time or as a consultant. Say they had a hobby that they turned into a business with net income, they'd be eligible that way too. Well, what about other deductions? And there's a lot of deductions, guys. So again, nag, 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 get help. If you want to know about more about how deductions work, you can click on the video on the screen right now. But there's deductions for so many things. Did you know you could get up to a $7,500 deduction for purchasing a new electric car, or $4,000 for a used one? If you're still working at retirement age, and let's say you're contributing to a 401k or an IRA, you might be able to qualify for the Savers Credit. This is something I'm going to look into. Depending on your income and your tax filing status, that credit is worth 10 to 50% of your contribution to whatever plan you're contributing to. You can get an energy efficient credit for up to 30% of that improvement for appliances purchased, air conditioning upgrades, Energy Star windows and doors, energy audits, geothermal heat pumps, solar energy, and more. Whew. There's something called a circuit breakers tax. There's a circuit breakers deduction. First day with a new mouth, sorry. This kicks in if your property taxes exceed a certain percentage of your income, and it could even apply to renters. And the St. Louis Area Agency on Aging, and you'll see the link for it on the screen, helps seniors and those with disabilities apply for that circuit breakers tax credit claim. It's a mouthful, guys. So I keep saying get help, get help. How do you get help? And does this seem complicated to you? Yeah, you can get free help. IRS offers free tax preparation through the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, VITA, and tax counseling for the elderly or TCE programs. There are many deductions you might be eligible for, like medical expenses, charitable donations, miles traveled for business. Deductions are specific to you. That's why I think it's so important to get help. And you will qualify if you earn $58,000 or less annually, you're 60 or older, or you have disabilities, you have limited English. Now, I just called them and they aren't setting up appointments yet, but they said that they think they'll be setting them up beginning in February. You can click on this link on the screen here to see if they're setting up appointments yet. You can also call the number 816-474 5112, and they'll set the appointments there for you or tell you when they are going to set the appointments. But that's not the only place you can go for help. There's a tax aid, which I hadn't known about, is the nation's largest volunteer tax prep service. It's run by AARP, and I know when people hear AARP, they think senior citizens. But let me tell you, this is open to everybody. It's free. It's open to everybody, although they will say to you that they focus on 50 or older or low to moderate income. They are our IRS certified volunteers, and the link for AARP is right there on the screen, so you can click on that. There's technology that can help you out. TurboTax has something for free. H&R Block has something for free. I'm all about technology. I think a human being is better, but you do you. To find out the status of your return or refund, you can use a mobile app that you can put on your phone. It's called IRS To Go. The IRS states that 9 out of 10 e-filed tax returns with direct deposit will be processed within 21 days of IRS e-file acceptance. Now, in addition to the mobile app, you can check your status of your return at IRS's Where's My Refund within 24 to 48 hours of refile. All you do is click on this link, irs.gov, and search on refund status. I'm going to see if I can show you what it looks like. Here we go. I just clicked on it, and you see you can sign into your account and get your refund status right there. Okay, so it's so important to make a plan so that you have success. Make an advance plan for the use of your refund. Pleasure does not necessarily conflict with sound financial practices as long as the refund is part of a structured plan. Make sure the short-term enjoyment has a long-term benefit. About 50% of taxpayers report that they're planning to pay down their debts with their refunds. Paying down the debt will not only save you money in interest charges, but it will lower your total monthly payments and help you meet your monthly living expenses. So, you can treat your refund like surprise money. Important to prioritize your options on each side and try to take care of as many need items as you can. But I'm not saying you shouldn't mix business with pleasure, because you should. The best thing to do is make a list of needs and wants and check them off. There's a lot of wise spending options that you can do with this money. I advise you to maintain care of your car and your home, because that will save you money in the long run. Now, by investing in new thermal windows, insulation, or more efficient heaters, it could save you a bundle on your electricity bill. In fact, replacing old windows can save you up to $465 a year in energy costs alone. Nobody likes to do it, but this is the time to schedule health and dental checkups. It'll help you avoid bigger and more costly and more painful problems later in the year. Is there something your family could use all year long that might save you money in the long run? Think about things like maybe upgrading your health insurance or maybe a AAA membership. And pay attention to your debt. Those high interest credit cards are stealing money from your savings, and I hate to see that happen to you. Maybe you've always wanted to start a business or go back to school or take a class. That'd be a great way to spend this money. So again, and I'm going to repeat one thing because I'm an old financial counselor, pay down those high interest credit cards. It's stealing money from you, and I don't want money being stolen from you. And protect your assets. What am I talking about? Life insurance. Life insurance is important. It helps compensate for the change in your money flow after someone dies. It helps those left behind cover the costs of final expenses, outstanding debts and mortgages, planned educational expenses and lost income. Most importantly, after someone dies, life insurance can lessen the financial burdens at a time when surviving family members are grieving. In addition, life insurance can provide a valuable peace of mind for the policyholder. As long as we're talking about protection, do you have a will? A will is a legal document that sets forth your wishes regarding the distribution of your property and care of any minor children. It is a formally prepared document that is signed in the presence of witnesses and should be prepared by an attorney. If you don't have one, great way to spend your money. Oh, how about funerals? Nobody wants to talk about funerals, and I know it can make you feel uneasy, but more adults are finding that pre-planning funeral offers a great emotional and even financial security for the ones they left behind. I'm not sure if you ever lost a loved one, but I can tell you from personal experience, I can't imagine trying to plan a funeral after my dad died. I was an absolute mess, but he pre-planned it and I didn't have to think about it. And I was in no shape to think about it. Believe me, he gave me a great present. He really did. Other wise savings options. I'm a big fan of automating savings. I think you have gotten that by now. If you can get used to living on less, forget that it's there. Before you know it, you've got a nice little nest egg. And, life happens. You need that nice nest egg. Review your bills that are due annually and put away money to cover them. Increase your investments. Create or add money to an emergency savings fund. You've got to have an emergency savings fund, people, please. I've been through it. There was a point when my husband and I both lost our jobs, and if we hadn't had that fund, we would have lost our house. Save for a house down payment. We wanted to see you at Holy Rosary get a house. We have some products, and I'm going to talk about them in a couple of minutes that can help you get that house. So start saving for that house down payment. Pay extra on your mortgage or prepay your rent, or invest. Let's talk about savings. Holy Rosary pays very competitive dividends on all your shared accounts, so you can build that nest egg quickly. You can access your account online with a Visa, check, debit card. We also have a Christmas card, which I highly recommend. When you use credit cards for Christmas, you tend to spend more money, and then you're stuck for paying for Christmas all year long, and who wants that? You can take advantage of our special savings account option. This is something where you can design your own savings for whatever you need, whether it's an emergency savings account, a vacation account, maybe your kids need braces, whatever you need. Holy Rosary also offers certificates of deposit or CDs. If you have money that can stand to be tied up for anywhere from 3 months to 6 years, certificates of deposit offer higher interest rates. You just have to remember that if you're putting money into CDs, the longer the term, the higher the interest, but you can't touch the money for the length of the CD term. There's a penalty for early withdrawal, so be careful about the CD that you choose. If you're likely to thinking you're going to need that money to fix the house or take a vacation or buy holiday presents, don't put too much into a long-term CD. Like savings, checking, and money market accounts, CDs are FDIC insured for up to $100,000. Savings bonds are debt securities issued by the U.S. Department of the Treasury, and they can help pay for U.S. borrowing needs. U.S. savings bonds are considered one of the safest investments because they're backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. An individual retirement account, or IRA, is a long-term savings account that individuals with earned income can use to save for the future and enjoy certain tax advantages. I have some money savings questions you should ask when you're going to get that help. You should ask, can I claim a deduction for supporting a relative, charitable donations, retirement contributions, mortgage interest, student loan interest, self-employment expenses? Am I eligible for any refundable tax credits? Is it better to itemize or take a standard deduction? Will changing my filing status help me save money? Lots of things. And now I want to talk about you being careful. Beware refund anticipation loan services. Getting caught up in one of these loans can leave you struggling to repay what you owe. What if you don't get the refund that you expected? These loans feature excessive fees. You can easily end up with a triple-digit APR, and I'm going to explain APR to you in a minute. There's a couple of movies here I want to you to click on if you would consider doing that. The first one, I know it's from New Mexico Legal Aid, but what it says pertains to everybody everywhere. So take a look at it. The second one is another one, a young lady talking about how she almost got involved in one of these things and how happy she is she didn't. So click on those. Basically, let's say you needed money in a hurry. These refund loans say, oh, I can get it for you quickly. I'll give you $1,200 from the anticipation loan. And then the lender's going to keep $300. And then when Sally's refund comes, the lender keeps $1,500 refund to cover the loan. First of all, the IRS can do it almost as quickly. Again, if you don't get what you anticipated, then the loan starts accruing crazy high interest. So be careful. So let's look at APR. What is APR? I just mentioned it. That's annual percentage rate. It's the cost of borrowing money. A lot of people pay attention to interest rate and not APR. You always want to pay attention to APR. APR is the best thing that you can use to compare your loan options. If you fail to make your payments, your APR can rise as high as over 29%. That's a lot of money, guys. Your APR includes your interest and your fees. Avoid interest, pay in full each month is my advice. Let's talk a little bit about Holy Rosary, since I'm from Holy Rosary. Savings. We can give you savings. You can automate it. You can set it and forget it. In my opinion, automated savings is like crock pot or slow cooker. And I love a slow cooker because you put everything in and you don't have to worry about it. And all of a sudden you have dinner. That's how automated savings is. You put everything, it just takes the money out for you. You don't have to think about it. And before you know it, you have a savings account with some good money in there. We offer checking with overdraft line of credit. Credit criteria apply. We have certificates of deposit for you. We offer business services. We have loans like a credit builder loan that can help you increase your credit score. We have a mortgage loan. We have auto loans. We have payday alternative loans. And please pay attention to this. I hate to see people get stuck in the payday loan cycle. It's a cycle you can't get out of. So if you're really needing money quickly, come to us for a payday loan alternative. We have Visa credit cards and more. We have free bill pay. We have mobile banking applications, 30,000 ATMs, 4,000 branches. Did you know that we have educational services for you? You don't have to be a member. It's free, and I want to encourage you to sign up for it. Let's say you're concerned about your credit score. Holy Rosary wants to be there to help you. We can do a one-on-one session, either in person in the office or via Zoom. In this session, what we do is we analyze your budget, we analyze your credit report, we help you develop an action plan so that you can start building that credit score. If you want to sign up for that, and again, it's free, there's the link right on the screen. Maybe you're thinking about buying a home. We have a session for that as well. It is also one-on-one or via Zoom. It'll help you decide how much of a home you can afford. It'll give you helpful hints. And I wish I had had housing counseling before I bought my first house, because believe me, it was a money pit and I wouldn't have done it if I had had the counseling. We also have some great housing partners that can help you get into that dream home faster. So please click on that link, sign up. It's free. You don't have to be a member. And Holy Rosary wants you to split. And we'll give you $10 if you do. And you're probably saying, what are you talking about now, Stephanie? You can split your refund. I don't know if you knew that, into 3 accounts. So we want you to split one into your Holy Rosary Credit Union savings account. And if you do, we'll deposit an additional $10. So you might be saying, well, I want free money. Tell me how. You want to use form 8888. You can link to it here on the screen, and please use it. And we're happy to do that for you. And that's about the end of our presentation. I hope you guys have gotten something out of this. You can see right now, my name is Stephanie Decker. I am the Director of Financial Education here at Holy Rosary Credit Union. My email's there. If you ever need me, please email me. Mitch Gaylord is our fantastic financial counselor. Please email him if you have any questions. And I want to thank you very much for joining us today.